songs is hard. So welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Say welcome to Gear Wizard TV. One more time. Welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Fuck it, let's live.
Oh no, you caught me. Hi everybody, and welcome to another night of Gear Wizard TV. What are we gonna do tonight? Spoilers, it's Friday. It's Tuesday, but it's Friday. We're gonna talk about Friday on Tuesday. I'm confused. Here to help me explain that better is my little buddy. It's JD.
What up? I'm
And
so excited for Friday on Tuesday, even though it's Tuesday, Friday. You got me all confused about what day it is.
Tuesday, Friday. We mustn't dwell.
We mustn't.
Not today.
What
We can't. Not on Rex Manning Day.
Oh, happy Rex Manning Day.
Happy Rex Manning Day.
That's from the
Empire Records,
there you go. Okay.
which we will not be watching on this show because while there are stoners in Empire Records, it is not a stoner movie.
Yeah, I'm really only tangentially familiar with it. I saw it once a long time ago. I know that people like to say happy Rex Manning Day. I didn't know it was on April 8th, but now I do know, and I'll forget tomorrow.
I have a strange fascination with the movie. Like it's not my movie. I don't think I was the target audience per se, but there are elements, pieces of that movie that speak very dearly to my heart. The local record store being that bastion of where you learn things and where life happens is very, very dear to me. That what is obviously a first job for many people breaking out
Yeah.
of that age, that speaks very dear to me, although mine was an amusement park. So I don't know. I have a weird relationship with that movie.
Fair enough.
But yes,
But
it is Rex Manning Day.
I can't wait to learn about your relationship with Friday, though.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Good.
Tell you what, before we get any deeper, because he's sitting there all by himself, let's bring in Jethrobot.
What up,
Hey,
Jethrobot?
what's going on, everybody? Man, good to be here. Good to talk about Friday because I had never seen this movie. I have no excuse.
Oh my god!
Like
I'm
everyone
so
I
happy
know,
right now.
everyone I know loves this movie. Of course, I know the quote "Bye, Felicia." You know, of course, I've seen several memes that are from this movie. So it was wonderful to have an excuse to finally see it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. Yeah, and
While the two of you have never seen this movie before, I think that there was a period in time where me and an old group of friends of mine spoke exclusively in quotes from this movie. Like literally, like there is not a line in this movie that isn't quotable to me. So like I don't even know which ones of like sort of which ones are part of general pop culture but I really have to ask, other than Bye Felicia, like were there a lot of times during this movie where you guys were like, I know that line, or I know that?
couple times.
Couple
Yeah.
times, not
Okay.
a lot.
It's hard to say specifically, but yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was too terribly often.
Okay.
I know you don't smoke weed. I know this,
Man,
but I'm gonna get you high today.
Yeah.
Because it's
Friday.
Friday.
you
You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Yeah,
I knew that.
I thought Ice Cube's "Today Is a Good Day" was from this movie. I didn't
Interesting.
realize that song came out a few years before this.
Yeah, the
movie.
song that. So for years, the big Ice Cube song from this movie, It's not in the movie, but it was on the soundtrack. Was "Keep Them Heads Ringing," or maybe it is in the movie. I can't. You know what? Now I'm second guessing it, but maybe it plays during the credits. Either way, that was the big one. And the video, there was a music video for that song that didn't include anything from the film, but was very cinematic in a different way. It's been 30 years since I've seen it, but I think it had
Sure, it
like,
was the same director.
I think they were like stealing a plane in it. It was like really epic. And so I remember like when I saw this movie for the first time, being like, when are they gonna steal the plane? Like I just thought in my head like the stuff I had seen from that video was gonna be in the movie.
Gotta be related, yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, this director, this is his first film, but he directed a lot of music videos before this, including working with Ice Cube for his music videos. So.
Surprise.
Yeah, and he eventually wound up directing the Ice Cube biopic that stars Ice Cube's son.
And
Ice Cube.
have you seen that film, Straight Outta Compton? Because
Yes.
like a decent, I don't want to say it wasn't the main plot line of it, but Ice Cube writing Friday was in that movie. Like him working on the script and this is the one that's gonna make me and all that stuff. Like that was in the movie.
Yeah. Well, they like Ice Cube developed this with the director,
Yeah.
And they, like the inspiration of Friday was to, show the more humorous side of the neighborhood that they grew up in, because anytime it showed up in movies for the past, few years leading up to it, including Boys in the Hood,
right?
It was very unflattering portrayal. So
yes,
they wanted to show that there was a good side to it too. Like it wasn't just that.
It's actual people living there, living actual lives.
Right, and it's it's tough to say whether or not this is a flattering side, but it's definitely a softer side.
It
in some ways.
Yeah, it's not laughing at anything; it's laughing with, in my opinion.
And while I had a very different experience, being A, white, B, rural West Texas, growing up somewhat poor, I saw some similarities there.
Oh yeah.
There's some commonalities. There's some shared experience that I think speaks to everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Adding water to milk, yeah. There's, plenty of things.
Yeah, when I was younger and smoking a lot, I would always just go over, cross the street or down the street, to people's houses, and we would hang out on the porch, and like you're an adult, but you're still like under your parents' roof, so you're still obeying your parents' rules to some degree, and but yeah, there was a lot in this movie that completely relatable, even though backdrop, just about everything else looks different, but yeah.
Oh, it's extremely relatable. The relationships feel real. I don't want to do too much before the movie starts, but
yeah,
and it even has it's got a little message to it.
Yeah,
that
it's got a little guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated with little people and performers.
Yeah, and he's great.
He's one of my favorite things in the movie.
I'm trying to remember what else I've seen him in, because he's very familiar looking, but I just can't think of it.
But no, when I mentioned to some friends that I was going to watch this movie for the first time, because somehow I think I was always waiting for the right time, and this was the right time.
Good.
But yeah, a friend who I did not even expect to come back with this take, let alone expect this take from anybody. It was like, man, it's got a really good message, and I think more young people today should watch it.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a thing there where it's like, put the gun down and be a man and deal with
Yeah,
the
well, yeah,
problem. That's a
I knew the
strong
message.
message.
yeah.
I mean, frankly, I think you ain't got shit to do, smoke weed is a good message too.
I think that we're even moving beyond the like use your fist message though. Like
Yeah.
but it is. But sometimes you do have to. If it comes between a gun and your fists, then yeah, sure.
Well, speaking.
Black lives.
Hey, look who it is!
Thank
Hey,
you so
Black
much for coming
Lives.
by, my friend.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
So I'm gonna get really high tonight
Okay.
to talk about this.
All right.
We are,
I have
by the way-
Alabama. I have Alabama Thunderfuck with me.
dude.
Yeah, got the
Alabama Thunderfuck or Alaska Thunderfuck?
or Alaska Thunder.
Alaska Thunderfuck.
He's
I haven't had that in years, my friends.
It just wrote Thunderfuck on the label,
Good enough.
so yeah, I'm like, it's okay. It's Alaska. I couldn't.
If you
remember
want to be a
if it's
purist, it's technically
Alabama, Alaska. What do I know?
it's Manitushka Thunderfuck, but who's got time to be pedantic besides me?
I don't know.
I am smoking 9-pound hammer.
Oh,
One of my
that's
favorite
nice.
strains, and a band that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all your favorite terpenes.
Oh, it does. It does, except it's got a lot of myrcene. This, no lie,
Mm-hmm.
like a 9-pound hammer straight to the face. This is when they tell you indica will bring you down. This is what they're talking about. This is one of my favorite. Couch lock, punch you in the fucking face.
Mm,
You ain't
very
going
nice.
nowhere. Kind of like the band.
Well, all right. Well, before you get too locked to the couch,
Just come over, rub your daddy's lucky belly. I have some peeps because it's peep season.
Gross.
Rice Krispie treats,
All right, Rice Krispie treats. That's good.
but it's a
That's good.
flavor. It is a peep that tastes like a Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, fuck that! It does not taste like a Rice Krispie treat.
Dude, it
it
fucking
tastes like a nasty ass.
Somebody that like peeps. I don't know if you can tell. I also have the king of peeps at some point. It is the regular peep with the bottom lightly dipped in very good chocolate. It's
yeah, I keep my opinion on peeps to myself. This
it's
time of
quite
year.
delicious. Oh,
Not a
see, if
peep.
you don't like them, send them to me. I'll take all of them. That's fine.
I have none
Yeah.
to send.
Yeah.
That's-
I also have a new Peeps
Oh.
Pest dispenser because it was Peeps
that's
Day
cute.
at CVS and Pez. There's my toys for the week. You know I love my toys.
Nice.
I love my toys. And I don't know. What do you think? Before a do can be in any way furthered?
Now's the time.
Should we watch this? Let's
ready.
do it. No. Oh, we gotta change the background. We did not get a clear shot of this iguana, but when he comes up, JD has things to say about him,
That's right.
Okay.
and they are going to be revelatory.
All right. Well, I'm excited.
It was just an epiphany that I had.
Oh,
It was a good epiphany.
yeah. I don't know about bad epiphany.
I kept expecting the
Mhm.
that Friday song to be in the movie.
By
Yeah, so-
Rebecca Black.
Yeah. Getting down on Friday.
A few years before
They're
that.
saving it for the
Although Jethrobot, you saw her, didn't you?
I did. I've seen her live. She opened for Man, and she also came out and sang with Man during one of their songs. It was very good. She did not perform Friday.
Aw.
The songs that she performed though were all very good, and I was, like, I don't do a lot of like I'm just going to see a vocalist with their own like backing track, do their thing, but it was good, it was good. And so here's Chris Tucker as Smokey waking up first thing in the morning,
Make and bake, baby.
yeah, wake and bake, no other way
Bake
to do it.
and
And you see him
bake.
kind of like make some funny faces, and he has a little muscle spasm thing, which he talks about later. But he's I think maybe the fact that Chris Tucker was in this might have been the reason why I never really went out of my way to see it.
I was gonna say Chris
Yeah.
Tucker can't help but make those funny faces. And
Yeah.
so, you either love Chris or you don't. Sounds like I see
Mhm.
where you stand here. But this role
Mhm.
is
Either him.
like, there's no one else that could have been Smokey.
And
My other favorite Chris Tucker role, honestly, is Ruby Rod.
Yes.
well, Ruby Rod is why I didn't like Chris Tucker.
I get it.
I saw The Fifth Element when it was a brand new movie in the theater, and I really don't understand this revisiting of The Fifth Element. When it came out, everyone was like, "This is not a very good movie," and
I loved it.
well, I think first impression was correct. I'm gonna repeatedly give it up for is it John Witherspoon? Is that who plays the father?
It's John Witherspoon, and thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
John
I'm
Witherspoon.
gonna repeatedly give it up for him. His performance in this movie is amazing. I laughed at no one else in this movie more than the dad character. Every time he's on camera, he is just tearing it up. And Chris Tucker got this role because the producers didn't want to cast DJ Pooh.
And let's real quick acknowledge Aunt Esther from.
Sanford and Son.
Thank you. I assume, to me, that she was the same character there in that quick little moment.
It would fit.
Yeah, I think that was
Absolutely
the
fit.
nod. It was definitely an homage to her character in Sanford and Son. Speaking of John Witherspoon and lines that I was expecting you guys to recognize, had you ever heard I'll go in there 35, 45 minutes before?
Yeah. I don't think this is the first film appearance of that notion, but yeah.
I think the line delivered by him, it might not have been the first time somebody said, "It smells because I just took a shit. Don't go in there for 30 to 45 minutes." But
yeah.
I think usually if you hear somebody say that after they walk out of the bathroom, don't go in there 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open a window, that they're probably quoting Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say before we go past it, I did not notice on the first watch, but when I was making this slideshow for this, I noticed at the beginning of the movie there is a scene, very, very quick. The neighborhood crackhead guy running down the street with 2 boxes.
Yeah.
Which meant nothing the first time I saw it.
Wait, I think I might miss something all the times I've seen this. What did it mean to you the second time?
He has stolen the boxes.
He stole the 2 boxes
that
that Ice
Craig
Cube
fired. Yeah.
Ice Cube got fired for.
I have seen this movie 75 times, and I never put that together.
You never noticed the crackhead figure with boxes? Yeah,
it's that long right at the beginning of the movie. It is so fast. And if you're not thinking...
Yeah.
Right
to
over
be
your
fair,
head.
that's the type of thing that just goes over my head.
It's just a guy carrying boxes down the street, acting funny.
That is awesome.
I used to have to eat government cheese, by the way. Oh boy.
Eating up all the chitlins, eating up all the pig's feet. Every time I come in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen.
Yeah, he is chewing the scenery here, and one of the best things in the movie.
Yeah, he really is.
Every
And
moment.
everyone got to work on their lines. When Chris Tucker came aboard, he did ad-libbing. He worked on his lines, and same thing with John Witherspoon. They just let him, go for it. So, and you could tell, like, he is having a blast. He is outstanding, you know. And all the stuff he's doing with his like fingertips and his lips and his face, and you know, he's always making these crazy faces, and he's eating grapes, and he's like, "Why we eat grapes?" You know,
Hide my
Uh,
grapes from you.
and then later on, he insists on talking on the toilet. And you just hear these loud plops the whole time. Man, good stuff.
And I don't know what the show
Loud
was.
plops are funny.
Was it the weigh-ins that he? It was some show on WB or CW where he wound up playing like a father character for years, and it was basically the same father, same type of character that he was in this movie.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not sure.
I am not familiar.
It was one of those shows that was probably not targeted for our demographic, but I saw a couple episodes here and there. Can't even remember the name.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched a lot of TV.
His mom
Period.
is so cold.
Yeah, his mom's great. Or like
It
her
was the
lot,
Wayans brothers,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just straight up lie. Lie to him.
And he hates dogs. He's a dog catcher, and the only thing in life that gives him pleasure is to see dogs in pain.
Yep. Yeah, all of that, you know, like all of his little tangents, you know, he starts talking to him about life lessons, and then he just goes completely off the rails over and over and over again, you know.
Did your dad ever call you into the bathroom while he was taking a shit just to
I
tell you
am
about lunch?
so glad that it was not a thing in my household after seeing that. I said that very thing to Laura. I was like, what a relief that, you know, this was not a thing in my household. But, yeah. It's like he's just doing time management, you know, like, well, I've got to sit down and I want to get some stuff done. So, son,
Right.
come in here and have this talk we have to have.
Yeah, I smell your shit for years. You can smell mine.
It happened once or twice at work, never at home.
At work, where your boss would call you in to.
No, my dad. I worked for my dad in college.
Yeah, I can say that I don't think.
I don't recommend
I've
it.
repressed any memories here.
I don't
And
recommend it.
here's the
There's
infamous Felicia. Yeah. She wants to borrow the microwave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now his terrible girlfriend is calling him to accuse him of cheating on him. But if you look closely, you should be able to see that there is a man in her bed right now.
Absolutely. She has her own theme song in this movie.
Oh, yeah?
That Hoochie Mama song. Ever seen at least twice when she shows up, there's that song playing in the background. Who plays his mother? She is someone.
You know, I didn't read a whole heck of a lot. I did see some fun trivia here and there. The woman that they cast as the sexy wife neighbor that you see later, the wife of the little person.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice Cube had a crush on her from The Price is Right.
Nice. Okay, the mother on this show, so on that sitcom, The Wayans Brothers, she played John Witherspoon's wife.
Oh,
so they
did the same thing.
They did the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Well, The Wayans Brothers, that was on for a long time, right?
Yeah.
That was on for a while.
Like 4 years.
80 episodes.
1 season away from syndication.
I guess we would be more familiar with it had it. maybe-
if it is, what is it, 100 episodes? The syndication mark?
Typically.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that doesn't even exist anymore. Syndication. That's nothing. No show gets 100 episodes these days.
Yeah.
No, but you signed a major streaming deal.
Yes.
Man, can we talk about Chris Tucker's smoke game? I don't know if like he came with that talent or if after they cast him he just sat in front of a mirror and just made some, amazing smoke.
I am pretty sure he came with that talent. And I'm also pretty sure that all the smoking that goes on in this movie with him and Ice Cube is real. At least in my head it is.
Well, before I didn't look it up until after I had watched it.
Big perm.
Yeah, big perm. Oh, that was a fun thing about that. When you first see him call him Big Perm instead of Big Worm.
Yeah.
He's like, Big Perm, I mean Big Worm. He misspoke. That's not in the script. He actually accidentally did that. And they managed to keep the take.
Accidentally,
So that's
or
the
it was
first,
like
so that's the first take there, I guess, or whatever.
Huh.
But yeah, and the oh shit, I forgot what else I was going to say. Don't worry, it'll come in.
This is a side effect of doing a podcast when everybody is high.
That's right.
Getting fired on the day off, man.
So it's actually a very nice subplot that it is the it's that crackhead who just stole cardboard boxes, but
Yep.
but what you're looking at is a job willing to fire someone for stealing cardboard boxes, which just go in the trash.
Right.
And I think it's so they would only do that to the black guy, right? And just the fact that he says they caught him on video camera. They're like, what? They caught a black guy on video, it's like all feeding into the stereotypes, of the white guys that can't tell the difference. They think that black guys look all the same. Those familiar tropes kind of reinforces that or works with that.
See, I always took it to be that he was just a shitty employee and that they just wanted to fire him. Because the whole movie, he's kind of a bum. I like what you're saying. There's a little bit of subversive political commentary in there.
Yeah. Well, you articulated much better than I could, but yeah. But yeah, exactly. They're just like kind of it's in the background. Yeah, it's in the background.
So I noticed that in this film he is billed as Tiny Zeus.
Lister.
Wasn't he always?
No.
Yeah.
And do you know who gave him this name? Zeus.
Vince McMahon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Hulk Hogan.
No, it was a role in a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Hulk Hogan says that it was his idea. Hulk
Correct.
says a lot of shit. But
yeah, no holds barred. But I thought
No
that
Holds
ever
Barred.
since No Holds Barred came out, that he
not always. Sometimes
not
he's
always.
just Tiny Lister.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did know that it was one that stuck with him at least some of the time until his death.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tiny Zeus.
Yeah, he used Zeus for a while. Yeah. Rest in peace, Tiny Lister. Also,
Boy, that's a movie we could revisit.
Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. I have actually thought about suggesting No Holds Barred because, again, when we were kids,
it's bad.
We liked that movie.
It's bad, but I would watch it again. I would come on your show and talk about that movie.
I bet it
it's
is.
shit. Yeah, like it's not
I'll
good,
bet it is.
but it's really fun.
It's
Yeah.
better than the wrestling match they had afterwards.
Did they actually have
Yeah.
a tie-in?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
pay-per-view,
tiny.
yeah.
Oh yeah. They put that on at WrestleMania that year.
Yeah,
And
no, but they did a thing where they showed the movie
uh-huh.
and then they had a match
Oh.
with Hulk Hogan and Zeus on TV, and it
Mhm.
was billed as no holds barred, the match, the movie,
Oh, gotcha.
and it was so bad,
Yeah.
so bad.
I
I mean,
bet it was.
it might not even be in the top 10 most embarrassing things that
Mhm.
wrestling did in that era, but it might be.
Stanley,
Yeah. I felt like I felt like the bougie neighbor, like uh never quite paid off, like it seemed like they were setting something up more than what, you know.
Well, you might have to watch next Friday sometime.
I like yeah, right. I like how weird Smokey's mom is, like, she's
Hmm.
she's
well,
a
it totally
unique
explains how
character.
Smokey gets away with being Smokey.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
again, like I did not grow up in a neighborhood like this, but I did live in a neighborhood not too dissimilar from this. When I was at the age where I was watching this movie a lot,
Mhm.
very late teens, very early 20s, and I mean, this was like I knew moms like that
Mhm.
for sure. Nothing in this movie feels like it was it's believable that all of the characters in these movies were based on like real people from the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause it for a second.
Yeah, there were
Okay,
like, real experiences
so
that
the iguana. Anyone
uh-huh.
who's been hanging with us for a few weeks, a couple months, knows that we just watched all of the Cheech and Chong movies. So
Right.
yeah, I had this like huge epiphany because they're right there on the wall. There
Mhm.
is a Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke poster,
Yeah,
and
there it
then
is. Yeah.
there's just randomly an iguana in his room, and the camera like lingers on it. There's like a 2-second shot where they just show this iguana, and then it's never mentioned again. That has to be a Nice Dreams homage, right? Like
Yeah,
it
that's a
Sure,
has to
screenshot
yeah.
be.
from the movie, right there.
Yeah.
That's a
So
screenshot from Nice Dreams.
no,
Oh, from
that's a
Friday.
screenshot
Right.
from Fridays.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Full
I thought that
screen.
was. I just thought that was so cool.
It
Yeah.
was in your face.
Yes.
Look at me.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, that's totally got to be on
Be-
purpose.
because then
Oh yeah, for sure.
they never mention it again. Like there's not a single line about Ice Cube's iguana. They don't even acknowledge it like in this scene. So yeah, they were just like, let's put some Easter eggs in here for stoner films from the past.
How
Mhm.
you gonna sell weed if you smoke it?
That
Okay,
is another one that got quoted a lot.
every dealer I've ever known, including me, smokes weed.
Right.
Well,
That's
that's probably what leads you to the to that particular vocation.
exactly.
Yeah.
I
But
would.
it was Craig who said it. Craig doesn't
Mhm.
know shit about weed at the beginning of this movie. And he's not wrong. I mean, every weed dealer that I know who's also a pothead wasn't making a ton of money.
Mhm. Right.
Never get high on your own
I beg
supply
to
is one
differ,
of
but
those rules.
I do beg to differ. I mean, I've known both,
Yeah.
but
I would I guess I would get this guy a 40 ounce, It's not
Would you?
very much money. Sure. Like it's a
You never.
1995
Yeah,
40 ounce.
You never read if you give a mouse a cookie.
yeah, that's the
You
thing. It's
you
every
don't
day.
buy. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
buy him a 40-ounce ones because that's somebody behind the counter. My neck and my back. Which I am convinced, I couldn't find anything online that confirmed this, but there was that song, I'm not going to sing it, but that song by Kia, My
Yeah.
Neck, My Back.
Yeah, I like
It's
that
very,
song.
yeah, it's a good song. I just
Fun.
don't want to say lick my pussy and my crack that much. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound right coming from me. But yeah, my neck, my back. Like I have to believe that she had that line in her head, my neck, my back, because
Yeah.
she was watching Friday. Like I just have to believe that. She was watching Friday.
It's somewhat of a similar cadence, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, if not, it's a good story.
Yeah.
And also to go, I mean, on your own from my neck, my back, lick my pussy and my crack, those things don't necessarily go together. I mean, kind of. But
She's just telling you, it's
it's the thought she
instructional.
likes.
It's
Right.
Start at the
instructional.
top.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start
You
at the
work your
top,
way down.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Damn.
If you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Miss Parker,
yeah,
don't
so
even
there.
know.
So she was on The Price is Right. And she was 40. She was 43 years old when they shot this.
I don't see that.
And,
I mean, she's 73 now. For those keeping track at home. And wait, did you say in real life she was married to the little person?
no. She's just
Okay.
portraying. Yeah.
Okay, right.
I have to assume the little person is Mr. Parker.
He is.
Yeah. And Bernie
Very
Mac
long.
shows up. Yeah, Bernie Mac shows up as the preacher to engage in sexual relations with Mrs. Parker,
Yes.
only to be caught. Hilarity ensues.
This is innocence.
By the way, our little person in this movie is portrayed by Tony Cox.
Mhm.
This is his second appearance.
I don't think I know Tony Cox.
Yes, this is his second appearance on Gear Wizard TV.
Oh.
What?
He
Hold
was
on.
in Nice Dreams.
He was.
Really?
Yes. He's an inmate
Okay.
or patient at the institute.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was his first role. He was also in Under the Rainbow. That's a movie you guys should. Oh, you did watch Under the Rainbow, didn't you?
No,
Nope.
we have talked
No.
about it though.
We've
Okay.
talked about it. It's in the. It's got a pin in it for sure.
Did you watch another movie that had a predominantly little person cast?
No.
No.
So yeah, I do really like. Like all of this is like location. That's. It's just like, I just find this very relatable. Sitting outside with
Yes.
the boom box, in the secondhand chairs, like just like leftover chairs that eventually find their way outside. Like the one that Ice Cube was just sitting in, like that. Yeah, that one there, like that thing is like hideous. And also, speaking of hideous, this is the ugliest car Cadillac ever made. I love that they use this car because like that is the hideous Cadillac.
Yes, it is. It is the worst Cadillac ever.
Yeah, worst Cadillac ever. Well, they made a compact like sedan once, like a 2-door sedan or whatever, 2-door, you know what I mean. That was also garbage. I think it was the Chevy Cavalier. He just made it into a fucking Cadillac. Shame on them.
Everybody back talking smack about weed, then wanting some.
Yep.
His cataracts.
Yep. I know he looks so young.
So, as a Chris Tucker hater, Jethrobot, did this movie convert you at all?
Oh, I mean, he's great in this, and it's not like I hate him. It's just like I've seen Rush Hour 1 and 2, I believe, and both times I was like, he's just not growing on me. Like there's just something about it. I don't know. But
I
Well,
did
maybe
like
if you see
Rush
Rush
Hour,
Hour 3.
yeah, but he is
and
really
I
fun.
gave up.
Yeah, he is really fun in this, and as I said, his smoke game is amazing.
Yes.
Like just all of the rings and the clouds and all sorts of cool stuff in there. I also like that, like, he's telling him a flashback of when he hung out with these guys, and he makes himself look like he just got out of high school. But the reality is, he's describing something that happened like last week.
Right.
So this is just Smokey's image of himself. That's pretty funny that he still sees himself as as his high school self or whatever. But, yeah.
So, by the way, somebody did this to me once, and they're fucking evil.
They gave
You've-
you
You have
meth?
smoked angel dust?
Yeah, it's PCP, Angel
Yes,
Dust.
PCP.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
it's. I guess you can sprinkle it in a joint just like Coke, and like people won't know right.
It doesn't
away.
have any taste.
I smoking weed out of a bong at some weird
Yeah.
guy I don't know's house, which
So what happened to you?
is not good behavior. But
Did you
I
wake
mean,
up
it's
in
just-
Debo's
in general,
chicken
you
coop?
shouldn't do shit like that, kids. Do not go smoke weed with strange people you don't know who look like they might possibly have recently been in prison,
Yeah.
because they might put angel dust in your weed. Like, I
I
had
think
been warned
angel
about
dust
that.
even exists anymore.
Oh, it
I'm not
does. Oh yeah, PCP is a big thing.
even,
Not a
big-
huge thing, but it's
Where?
out there. You know,
I don't.
out there in the world.
Like
Just
Nebraska, I just feel like
hardcore junkies,
Ohio, maybe. Yeah.
hardcore stoners. But I don't know, man. It was like the scariest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, you
believe
hallucinate, and then it's common for your hallucinations to be uncomfortable or scary, right? Like
I
that's
thought
the,
I was gonna
that's
die.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Everything was vibrating. The
Uh-huh.
world was vibrating. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
see anything in focus because everything was shaking.
So that's like Speedy then.
I
Right.
guess
Like,
it was. I don't know why anyone would ever do it on purpose. It was
So
awful.
ChatGPT says that it's relatively rare. Still some parts of the East Coast, DC, Philly, and Baltimore. Some in
Mhm.
California. Occasional cases in places like Chicago, New York, and Texas. All right, look out, everybody.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna find that PCP. I'm gonna get
Yeah, Debo is just plain evil, man.
Yeah.
Sherman Hemsley. So this is like kind of like Tiny Lister's biggest roles, really.
It's one of them. Yeah.
Like I highly doubt he has this much dialogue and no holds barred. My guess is he has very little dialogue and no holds barred, because he's supposed to be some sort of imposing unknown.
You would be
It's
correct.
been a long time.
He also played the president of the entire planet in your favorite movie, The Fifth Element. And did not have a ton of lines.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The people in this movie, they wind up in a lot of the same movies, sometimes year after year.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's great and a lot of fun for them to get to work together over and over, but it is kind of a sad commentary of Hollywood films that the same Hollywood films with a pointed towards a black audience have the same folks in it over and over too, and they just wind up being in the same films. But
yeah, or even like we said, the John Witherspoon and the actors who play as Ice Cube's mother played a husband and wife for 8 years or X number of years, 4 years on an unrelated show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that, I think that stuff did just happen anyway. Regardless, like people would have famous roles and they would be asked to reprise it. Yeah, sometimes they would just wind up as characters on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty clever actually.
And whatever happened to Faison Love?
Happened to what?
Faison Love? He was the actor who played Big Perm.
Oh.
He was in Elf. He played the boss at the department store that
Hmm.
Buddy worked at. He was in like a ton of movies in the late
Mhm.
90s and early 2000s.
I
Um,
saw him in a movie 2 years ago.
nice.
He
Well,
was in The Last Stop in Yuma County.
okay. Yeah, I'm looking at his IMDb, and it's been a lot of things that I have not heard of since. Oh
Yuma
God, not
County is a really good movie. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Hmm.
I don't know. Did you see it, Jethro?
No, I didn't.
I liked it a lot. It's got some good tension,
Mhm.
some good humor, but some good tension, and then some nice payoffs.
Yeah, it looks like his last sort of hit though that he was in was Elf
Hmm.
22 years ago. But he has been working steadily, like
Hmm.
every year. I mean, just huge resume. But
Hmm.
yeah, he was funny.
Now, here in the movie, we have Craig finally deciding that he's going to smoke some of Smokey's weed. He's tired of hearing him always pushing it on him, and he's just going to engage. Oh yeah, what I was saying is when I first watched this, I had a feeling that it was location shooting, and I also had a feeling that this was just a very inexpensive film. And it's true. This is a $3.5 million movie. I don't know what 1995 $3.5 million amounts to nowadays, but that's a very very cheap production for 1995. And its gross was like 27 million, 28 million. So that's a huge success.
Absolutely huge success. And speaking of quotable moments, Puff Puff Give.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're lucky you're my boy. You're
Mhm.
with the wrong person. You'll get killed for this. That was
Mhm.
stuff that was said a lot.
Yeah.
No, but this movie, I mean, it got 2 sequels.
Yeah.
There is talk of a fourth.
Yeah, there's been talk of a fourth since the third one came out. I would love it, but I
Well,
think
they came out in relatively quick succession. Like it
it was
was
a
like
few years.
95, 2000, and 2002. So
Right. So I mean that back then though, that 5-year gap for a sequel I think was fairly long.
yeah. Well, Ice
Um,
Cube's a busy man. He's
it
doing a
is.
lot of stuff. This
Yeah,
point in his career, he's doing a lot of stuff.
I think that since Tiny died, maybe the talks about another one have cooled a little bit. Because I know they wanted to get everybody back, but it would be good. I would go see
Yeah.
it.
We can't let a little thing like that. Ooh.
And John Witherspoon.
Yeah. John Witherspoon is gone.
Yeah.
Several other cast
Bernie
members
Mac
in this film are
gone.
gone as well. Yeah.
Bernie Mac dying was still makes me very sad.
Yeah. Kings of Comedy is amazing.
So good. Okay, you know what? Ice Cube will
Look
write
look how quickly Smokey regrets it.
I know.
He's been pressuring him this entire movie. He finally gives in. Clearly, he's not, up to it because, guess what? He doesn't do this. So, and he doesn't really want to. And then, yeah, Smokey just regrets it immediately. But Smokey, I mean, like you see Smokey is a weed waster, like he really is clearly quite careless, and if anything, that's part of the reason why he's in such trouble with his dealer. And also, like not that Smokey has done the right thing here, but let's look at Big Worm's business sensibilities. it doesn't take much time for you to be in a room with Smokey before you would come to the conclusion that he shouldn't be fronted anything
No.
of value whatsoever. But most especially, he should not be fronted weed. Certainly not a large quantity of weed. Certainly not with the intention of him flipping it for you. You think Smokey's going to flip that for you? You kind of deserve to get ripped off.
I'm gonna be honest. I never fronted nobody. No weed, no how. No way.
Mhm.
Cash up front.
Yeah.
I sure as hell wouldn't front Smokey though.
Yeah.
I think you're victim blaming.
I'm not really saying that, like in support of Smokey. I'm just saying that, as a business person,
Yeah.
Big Worm should have better sense. Like there has to be some level of vetting process. You can't just, throw because and in any case, if you wind up having to kill Smokey, well then guess what? You're out of your money, and now also what you apparently thought was a potential distributor for you is also out of the picture. So,
And then there's the cover up.
yeah. So Big Worm, I mean, he's idiot.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not impressed.
No, he's a moron.
Yeah.
And just 4 days ago, though, Ice Cube was on a radio show saying that there's some traction at Warner Brothers and that the film is probably going to move forward and come out next year.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
There's talks of a fourth one, like active now.
Yeah.
But they really have been talking about it on and on forever.
They should have Pedro Pascal in it.
Because Pedro Pascal is in all the things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
No, because he's amazing in all the things.
what's his name from Breaking Bad, who's in everything as well.
Is he really in everything? Bryan Cranston? Oh, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he is in everything.
Giancarlo Esposito. He's got the Michael Caine. He's got a bad case of the Michael Caine there.
Is Michael Caine retired or dead?
I don't think he's retired for Christopher Nolan, but I don't think he does anything else, but yeah, he's still alive, thankfully. Hang in there, Michael. We love you.
He is 92.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Way to go, Michael.
Only so much you could ask people to hang in there when they get to be 92.
George
It'll
Burns.
be a sad day.
George Burns did it.
He made it to what, 101?
I think. And I want to say he worked at 100. Biggest dog I ever seen in my life.
He died at 100.
Once again, the brilliant John Witherspoon, and I'm guessing that's his real ass you're seeing there. Which,
I know John Witherspoon.
Yeah, it's good looking butt cheek.
They didn't have no money for stunt ass on this movie.
No, it's a good looking butt cheek there. A lot younger than the face, but anyway, he once again just comes in and fucking rules it. It's amazing. And it's just a little bit, but yeah, they give him the fact that he's been bit in the ass by a giant dog, and he rolls with it.
Big worm selling ice cream.
What's up, Big Perm? I mean, Big Worm. Just right in front of the kids. And what are they gonna do?
I get the feeling it's no secret that the ice cream man is a weed dealer.
Right. You see the little fake count he did there, though, trying to
Yeah,
make 60
yeah.
look like 100.
Tried to make it look like.
Yeah.
No, he's trying to make 100 look like 200.
Oh, okay.
These are such great faces.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hollywood gave up on him.
However, I will say that threatening murder,
Mm-hmm.
if you intend to commit it, threatening it in front of a whole passel, I suppose is the term for that many kids. That's a passel of kids.
Yeah, those kids don't care.
A flock of kids.
They
No,
just
but
want
they,
ice
they, they would totally drop
It's
dime
a
on you.
blob. It's a blob of kids.
Blob of kids. There you go. Those kids would totally drop dime.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the solution really is to just
Take
Yeah.
them all out.
take
Yeah.
them all out.
Sometimes you get to shoot a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm. Cost of doing business.
He was an old man in this last stop, Yuma County. I guess that's why he's not around anymore.
Mm.
No one wants to see an old big perm.
Ah, jeez.
And really, what's the next one going to be about? You know, I will go see it, but
Yeah.
without John Witherspoon, it's going to be about an old ass Craig, and he's probably gotten all successful and left the ghetto, and he brings his kid back to see where he grew up or something like that. That's the
Mhm.
yeah. Nobody sell that to New Line, please.
She is hilarious. I do like the
Yeah.
actress that plays his girlfriend.
Oh, his girlfriend. Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
She's great with the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, like as I said, I'd never seen this movie. As soon as it started, I was enjoying it. Like its energy, starts immediately and is just like full throttle the whole way. I read something about how when they were developing it, they were thinking about the way Clerks is, so like, I guess they were just kind of going for that, like, excitement through dialogue. And definitely accomplishes that. Like, this is, for a movie that, like, not very much happens in it. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and they start it right away during the New Line
Yeah.
logo. There's the
Mhm.
voiceover of the,
Look-
I'm gonna get you high today. It just
look-
really
look.
sets the mood.
Did you see the size of Mr. Jones' before dinner hoagie?
Yes,
Like, Jesus
I was just
Christ.
looking at that.
No wonder his shit stinks so bad.
Like, how big are your before dinner hoagies?
Well, I mean, I just, I feel like that is probably the largest hoagie that place sells. So, it's if you're gonna be joining your family for dinner, you probably should get the
I
biggest.
rarely even have a before dinner hoagie.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, to be clear, I don't recommend any before dinner hoagie at all. But if you have to have one, you probably shouldn't get the biggest one they have. Like I don't know. I do get the impression that his wife would not care at all.
Do you use the big one as a post-dinner hoagie then?
Yeah, maybe he gets the big one early in the day and he just kind of like nibbles at it at different times throughout the day. Just kind of maybe that is also his post dinner hoagie.
He's a man whose greatest pleasure in life is kicking dogs. So he just needs his dinner hoagie, his pre-dinner hoagie. Life's not good.
Yeah. Well, you got bit in the ass. You got bit in the ass today.
Most people want to borrow sugar.
The line delivery of "Bye Felicia" is so funny too, because like she talks to somebody else and she approaches him. He's like, "Bye Felicia,"
Uh-huh.
Doesn't even look at her. It's great. But yeah, these two central performances, they're very good. They're very natural. They're just very witty.
And they do some experimental camera stuff in this movie to try and it's like a stone filter basically,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of movies do that, but I
Yeah,
think
theirs looks good.
yeah.
I had thought that too. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Their stone vision moments,
It's pretty good, right?
they're convincing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've all maybe stared at a dog statue before thinking perhaps it barked.
Recently.
Oh, that is one thing. When he's talking to her on the porch, and he's like, "Does the phone ring? Did you hear the phone ring?"
Yeah.
Like that takes me back. Like that was totally a thing that happened to me all the time before cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Where just you'd be like, "Was that the phone?" Be out on the porch or in the backyard,
You know what I think
upstairs in your room, whatever. But yeah, you just
the modern equivalent of that for me, I don't know if you guys have this happen to you, but do you ever get the phantom phone vibration?
Yes.
Where you'll feel your phone vibrate in your pocket, but your phone's not even in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it'll trip you up because I always reach for my phone and then like you realize it's in the
Yeah.
It's in the other pocket, not that one. But, yeah, I've had that experience, and I did when I was much younger. I did used to get like muscle spasms sometimes, from big hits.
You'd get the muscle spasms from what?
From like taking a big hit of weed, like just every once in a while you just get like a shimmy or something.
Huh.
That is
that's
yeah.
an iconic pose right there.
Yes. That is that's DJ Pooh, right? The other writer, yeah.
Yes.
Bike stolen and everything.
Yeah.
He was originally going. Yeah, he was originally going to play Smokey.
Yes, and
he really is Smokey. I guess.
And
but that's more based on him anyway.
Second movie. In the second movie, he's not Smokey, but Chris Tucker doesn't show up. Chris Tucker just doesn't come back for the second one. And
really?
yeah. And so DJ Pooh is the sidekick character, and basically, like it's more like you could tell that it might have even originally been Smokey in an early draft of the script, and then they just
gotcha.
were
Yeah,
like, hey, no, no.
well, yeah, go do it.
That's next Friday's is not horrible.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't think so, although, you know, once you're very wealthy, um, you're eventually like going to have a hard time, writing like personal experience, slice of life stuff that goes along with this backdrop.
Yeah. I haven't seen it nearly as many times as this one, so I can't really even speak too much about it. But I know, a weird thing happened like within the past couple of years. I was like, I've never seen the Friday sequels, so I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was watching it, and I was like, why do I know every line in this? Like, I must have seen them a long time ago, and they must have made really no lasting impression at all on me. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's ever happened with you guys with movies, where like you'll think
Oh
you're
yeah.
watching a movie for the first time and be like,
Oh yeah.
I know this, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
not even a remotely foreign experience.
okay, good. All right. I knew I came to the right place. You guys are my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it happens to be. It happens. There are times actually where I'll like binge a show and get to the last episode and something will click and I'll be like, I've done this before. Like it took me the whole series to remember that,
Yeah.
but I've done this before.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool being able to rewatch things for the first time. But yeah, that's how I. So that's kind of I think what the deal is with these sequels, because even though I did just rewatch them a couple of years ago and I remember them being decent, I couldn't tell you anything about them. The third one's a
Yeah.
Christmas movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What is that all?
There's Tony Cox.
There he is. So he is angry, and he doesn't
Rightly
like
so.
he doesn't like all this fooling around.
Rightly so.
It's a lot of
I think Nia Long might have gone on to have the biggest career of anyone in here in her own way. I mean, Ice Cube's obviously huge.
well, Nia Long wound up being in movies with both Chris Tucker and Ice Cube.
What was her Chris Tucker follow up?
I can't remember. Pretty sure she was in a movie with Chris Tucker. Maybe
I believe it.
or maybe it was right before this. Is she in House Party 3?
Oh wow.
Chris Tucker is.
She was not.
All right.
House Party 3.
And
I'm
so
sure
now
that's a movie like what we were just describing.
Yeah, and now I want to point out that the dad is like, resting on the bed with the stuffed animal dog with his, he's off of his butt because of course his butt is sore.
Yeah.
And he is watching Man's Best Friend.
Yes. Did you have to look it up or did you know what that was right away? Because I
did not even notice it. I didn't even notice it. Like I saw Man's Best Friend exactly once in my life. And
Same.
It was in the theater. Like I saw it when it came out.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Are you just a huge Lance Henriksen fan?
I am a huge Lance Henriksen fan.
How can you not be?
I am absolutely a huge Lane Hendrickson fan, and frankly, I'm a Ali Sheedy fan as well.
Nice. I forgot Ali Sheedy was in Van's Best Friend.
Oh well, yeah. She's she's the light part, and Lance Hendrickson gets to be the more serious part. I did watch a portion of it because I was checking a copy that I got for VHS sales. So I was checking the VHS and I watched the scene where Tracy Walter is in it, and he is mean to the dog. He winds up as owner of the dog. He's mean to it, and of course that means the dog kills him.
So this girl is the one. Smokey talks to her on the phone. She's Craig's sister's friend, and she
looks
described
like
herself as
Janet
looking
Jackson.
like Janet Jackson, but she does have the same hat as Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I am not wild about these fat jokes at all. I don't know what Smokey's problem is. I think she's pretty good looking.
I mean, he likes what he likes. You don't. But he didn't have to make the fat jokes.
Yeah. Pulling her hat off. That's completely
improvised.
That's completely inappropriate, unacceptable. Smokey, shame on.
Smokey does not show us his proudest moments.
No. But it's the movie going a little low as well. It's not just Smokey; it's the whole film.
Oh yeah.
But they're also, I mean, that is.
Come on, Friday, you were doing so well.
I mean, the catfishing joke in itself, I think, is all right.
Yeah.
And again, people like what they like. Smokey doesn't like big girls.
Yeah.
But they made the fat jokes.
But then he takes her number anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you're not fooling anyone, Smokey. So Craig should always listen to his mom.
Broke ass Craig hates living around a bunch of broke ass people. Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really the only part of the movie where I'm like, you could have trimmed this scene here.
But when you're that age, you are pretty shallow.
It's true. True. But also, it does seem like it kind of turned the page in that regard. They did in fact make a movie called Shallow Hal, and I don't think that movie could get made nowadays.
I don't think
I don't
shouldn't
think
have
anyone
been
is.
for many reasons.
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
should have known
anyone's
better
seen
than
that movie in 20 years. Yeah, that one's not one that gets talked about for reevaluation or anything.
Nope. No one is going to watch Soul Man.
Let's hope.
I don't think anyone's going to be revisiting White Chicks at any time. Who knows?
Yeah, I was also thinking that I might just be like, we all are in like a little bit of a bubble. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know what people in other
Yeah.
demographics and like completely sort of different. For all I know, there's like a group of people right now championing these movies. But not in the world that I live in. I don't see these movies talked about.
Yeah.
Even like there's something about Mary.
Yeah. Well,
which I feel like maybe is okay, but like that's one that like seems to be forgotten about.
mm-hmm. I hear it get referenced fairly often.
Do you? Okay, good.
Yeah.
With like people who are our age though, who have just always been referencing these things.
Possibly. I like the straw bit where like he uses the straw to move the dirty underwear.
The smell
And
right
then he
there.
puts it- yeah.
What my favorite part about the bit though is that he sticks it up both nostrils.
Yeah.
So he goes, and then waits a second, and then sticks it
Mhm.
deeper into the
Yeah.
second nostril. Like, am I sure about this? Yeah, Debo is no good. I guess Felicia is his girlfriend, right? Or just some girl that hangs out with him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
But he treats her real bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say that both Felicia and Debo are lower on the social ladder than the folks we're hanging out with throughout the film.
Yes.
You know, like no one likes Debo. He is just a bully that.
Yeah, he's king of the neighborhood. He's a big, tough guy that everyone's afraid of, and he's just king of the neighborhood. Those guys are out there. Even my suburban neighborhood had a. Yeah, we didn't think he was gonna kill us, but there was a kid in my neighborhood that I remember when I saw it coming, I went away. I made
Yeah,
sure
you were
to
afraid
never
of.
be where he was. Yeah. You know, Debo's not gonna be king anywhere but this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. If you notice that the animal control truck is in a lot of these shots, it was a pretty big prop, and it was also their closet for their equipment and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, they shot this movie in a little under 3 weeks, and like I said, it was really cheap, and the neighborhood that they filmed in was Crip neighborhood. So, if you watch the movie under that lens, you'll notice that no one's ever wearing any red, so any prominent red. There's even a bandana gag, where he says like, "Hey, you can't wear that bandana," to his sister, and it's a black bandana, like he would use any gang colors for that gag, even though he immediately says like not to look like she's in a gang. This is good thunderfuck. This it's got me rambling.
And mine has had the opposite effect.
I was gonna say yours is balancing out mix. I'm still on the White Widow edibles. White Widow? White something.
Well,
Smoking them tweeds.
smoking them tweets. Oh man. So yeah, it's gotten late. They're pretty sure that Big Perm wants to kill him, and they're right. But again, I just have to implore Mr. Worm to reconsider these, these business decisions. Just,
He's not a good businessman.
it's wasteful. It's just wasteful. It's counterproductive.
Bullets are expensive.
Yeah, well, so is manpower.
Bullets are expensive, but not expensive enough. I was wrong. It was not DJ Pooh that played the Chris Tucker-esque
Oh.
role in the sequels. It was Mike Epps, but DJ Pooh
Oh.
is the one in this movie.
Okay. Is DJ Pooh in the other
He's not.
Fridays? No, he's
He's
not.
not.
Wanted to move on.
But
Poor
he did,
DJ
yeah.
Pooh.
He's actually only just credited as having created
Yeah,
the
there you
characters.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, moved on completely.
Well, he may have, who knows? Maybe he felt salty about the role he was expecting to play, having it
Stolen.
Yeah.
taken from him because, that was the contingency with which New Line Cinema gave them. They were like, yeah, we'll fund her, but, you're going to have to replace one of your leading, or, not Ice-T. You're going to have to replace your other leading man. So,
Cube.
Q, right. Ice Cube.
He
And I
did
still-
right. He wrote and directed a stoner movie in 2017.
DJ Pooh did?
Yeah, called Grow House,
Nice.
which I've never seen.
Well,
Malcolm
maybe we'll have to do
McDowell
it.
is in it.
Right the on the poster, it says in huge letters from DJ Pooh, co-writer of Friday.
Right.
Co-writer is very small. Friday is very big.
Yeah.
Advertising.
He probably could have said co-creator, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who
Oh,
knows?
and Phase on
You know,
Love.
those
Exactly.
guys have probably sued each other. Like everybody always sues each other in Hollywood, so
Right.
they probably all sued each other. And it's all just been figured out exactly what he's allowed to say when he sells a movie with his
So-
connection to Friday, which is what I would do too in this situation.
And here's the whole emotional crux of the movie here.
Mm-hmm.
It does a little fake out thing where it makes it look like Craig shoots Debo,
Mm-hmm.
and then we flash back and see that he
Yeah.
didn't.
And his dad implores him to
Get the shit beaten out of him.
give up the gun and instead get in there and get in a fight he can't possibly win.
Right. And then
But it's better
And
than
then he'll be a man.
it's better than killing a guy and going to prison.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And for a certain culture, I mean, there are places in this world where you do still have to out alpha the
Johnny Cash sang about it plenty of times.
look of pain on Devo's face.
Mhm.
Oh,
Nobody
he's
ever
just such
stood
a
up to him
big,
before.
slow guy.
Yeah. Every still of Chris Tucker is hilarious.
But this is, he's basically dead now. Craig's on the ground, and his father's like,
Mhm.
"Get
Yeah.
up! Get
Yeah.
up! Get up and keep fighting!" Like, man,
Yeah.
your kid's gonna die.
Well,
Yeah,
his
but-
dad's crazy. That's the whole point.
Yes,
But come on, you've seen this 100 times.
I know.
Right? The baby face gets beat down,
I know.
and you think he's out,
It is.
then
It
he-
is.
but then he
It-
comes back. He rallies.
It's a pure wrestling logic fight. For
It
sure.
is.
Which is a tried and true thing that we all psychologically friggin' love. There's nothing better than seeing the babyface get his ass kicked, and how could he possibly get up?
Mhm. Well, you chant yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
I don't know if
before
anybody's ever seen
before you know it,
the chair of the crowd used to literally make Hulk Hogan invincible.
Well,
I mean, he
it's-
would be down on the ground, and then you would cheer for him, and he'd get up, and you could hit him with all you had, and it wouldn't even make him budge.
and it's doing that here. Then his valet comes in. Gotta help you.
You got knocked the fuck out, man.
Yep, and
Another
now,
very quotable line.
And now Smokey has stolen back the $200.
Yep.
That he helped. God, what is this character's name again? Yeah, Tiny Lister. They stole it. Debo. He helped Debo steal it from the neighbor, and the Debo was like, "Yeah, this is mine. Goodbye."
And then the crackhead takes his shoes.
Yeah. But doesn't take the knife. Well, he doesn't have a death wish.
Right. I mean, presumably now, I guess it's like prison rules in the movies, and Debo will just have a new respect for everybody and leave them alone. And that might even be what the case in the next Friday, which I've seen maybe 10 times. Who knows? But don't remember anything about.
Now, is Ice Cube gonna bother to break up with his girlfriend?
I think I think she broke up with him.
Did she? Did I miss that somehow?
I mean, well, no, she drives off.
She does break up. She does break up with him.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
If there's any callback, it's probably her trying to get back together with him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in this movie is so good, though. It's a lot of fun. I laughed out loud quite a bit, and that just doesn't happen to me with comedies all that often.
Good. Did we rewind?
No. No, it does not respond well to that.
No, yeah. With this huge file, like once you push play, like you're just.
Mhm.
Machine gets angry.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, StreamYard. We love you and we appreciate everything. But yeah, your player's not very user friendly.
I don't love you, stream. What's it called?
Well, I'm not going to tell you now with that lousy attitude you're coming in with.
No,
I was just being a contrarian. I love you. I love you.
We love our
Streambox.
platform. StreamYard is aces.
Well, I guess.
And when we watched, oh, good. Sorry, Jethrobot.
Nope. I was just gonna say, and now the day's done, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
And he gets just one more little Chris Tucker add-on there.
Well, he does the thing here now where he says that he's gonna quit.
Yeah.
And then he said, yeah.
And then he makes one more funny face.
Right. And does his catchphrase one more time. And you know this, man. I'm not going to try to do the Chris Tucker impression.
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to. But. When we watched, what was it, Half Baked, it ends with Dave Chappelle saying that he quit. But then is it a fake out or did he really quit at the end of it?
No, he really quit.
Okay, right. And I remember being really confused by that because I was like, wait, doesn't he then say like psych or something like that? And it was because I've seen Friday so many times where it basically is the same ending where he says he quits, but then he's like, psych.
Nope.
So that's why I remember having like a real feeling of like, what's it called there? Like Mandela effect type of thing when we watched Half Baked, and that didn't happen. I was like, why did you get the wrong version of Half Baked?
You were confusing your stoner films.
Yes, but I like the message better in this one, where why would you ever quit weed? And weed doesn't really hurt anybody at all in this movie, like at all.
Well, it's the it's the dealing of weed that causes
Sure.
some safety issues.
Right.
You
But
know.
like
But yeah, like the only person in this
Craig's life
movie
is
who
getting better.
well, Craig, yeah, but he didn't really enjoy the weed. Like they never established that he actually liked doing that. He just
Yeah.
did. So it's not like I don't find it to be particularly flattering. For weed even. Like Stoney's actions are often completely nonsensical. Uh, you know, and uh, yeah, so it's not exactly a flattering portrayal. Craig is he's the main character, and he's also the audience's anchor. He is like pretty much the most the straight guy in the film. Certainly not his dad.
I never took it as him
Like
not
he is
liking.
he is the straight guy, and yeah. What will you say?
I never took it as him not liking the weed. Like, there's not a moment where he's like, "Yeah, I'm into this. I'm gonna do this now." But like, you kind of get the feeling that maybe he is. I always did, anyways. Like, it didn't feel like
Well, as a first watch, it struck me as it turns out he didn't really like it. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't really.
that's what I got from it.
Yeah, he wasn't. He
Really?
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't glad he smoked it. He didn't seem to enjoy it. Like
It was no, I'm going to do this again.
yeah, yeah. You don't really see him like laughing and having a
No,
great
he was
time.
having a paranoid time.
Yeah, he's having a paranoid time. Yeah, so, but yeah, like it's you are laughing with Smokey a lot of the time, but there's definitely multiple moments where you're laughing at Smokey because Smokey's ability to function in this film has been compromised. Like yeah, it's not really all that fun.
I would say too. I can't imagine what it would be like to see this movie for the first time as a 40-something-year-old guy in 2025 versus seeing it in the hood at 19, just with a lot of people. I mean, because I don't even think that I like as far as I was like when I first saw this movie, I just thought Smokey was cool.
Yeah.
Like watching it now, it's like, yeah, Smokey.
No, I still think Smokey is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm not saying he isn't cool. I mean, yeah.
Cool
I
without
would
an
hang
asterisk,
out with
though.
this guy.
Smokey is clearly cooler than me. I mean, this it's like
Smokey is cooler
and
than
he's a hot mess.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You need some of those people in your life because he is mostly harmless.
Yes.
He is a lot of
I mean, he
fun.
did almost get Craig killed, but
Yeah, I said mostly.
mostly.
He's not harmless, but again, you need some of that in your life.
Hmm.
You need a little of that in your life. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I
Right.
want friends like that, and for some people, have been known to be that guy too, in a weird way. So,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
no,
I think
I'm
I
very
was that
pro
guy
pro
when I was
Smokey.
younger.
I'm very pro this movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. But
I will definitely watch it again.
Nice.
Possibly watch it, repeatedly. I do plan on seeking out the sequels. Yeah, for sure.
it is
was
not as much a movie about weed as I thought I was walking into.
yeah,
I will say
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was under the impression that from the way that the film is advertised, that Craig, the character Craig, smokes just as much weed as Smokey.
Right.
that's like, one of the draws of like hanging out with Smokey is that, he's the connection to that. But
Or that he got into it.
yeah.
So it might not be a film about weed, but it's a film that needed weed to be the film that it was.
Oh,
Without,
absolutely.
because without weed, it would just be another Boys in the Hood, Juice, Menace to Society. Like, even if, because there'd be no, like, weed was what the comedy came from in it. So, like, yeah, it would have just
Yeah.
been, don't be a menace to
Mhm.
drinking. Gosh, I don't remember the title of that
Don't
whole
be a
movie.
menace to South Central in the Hood.
Well, don't be a menace
It's
to South
probably
Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
yeah.
That was the
It's probably a lot of weed in that movie too. But yeah, no, it's even though it's like not like out and out like promoting weed smoking, it is certainly a movie for people who are smoking weed.
Absolutely.
yes.
No,
For sure.
I would leave this in the like it's not huge in my list of stoner movies per se, but it definitely belongs in that pantheon.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
where would you rank it against the Cheech and Chong oeuvre?
I mean,
I would rank Up in Smoke against most of the Cheech and Chong oeuvre. Come on, we just
I
watched
would,
those. There's
yeah,
two really good movies
yeah,
Yeah, good point.
in that string.
Right.
But they are both movies very much about weed.
Hmm.
yeah,
Weed is the star.
yeah.
Weed is the wheel that everything spins around.
Sure.
Whereas in this one, Smokey is kind of that, and Smokey is very much into weed.
Yeah.
So it's very much a movie about a stoner, which I think qualifies it as stoner cinema.
It has to be. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
If this wasn't stoner cinema, then I don't know what is. I
because
think we'd be
it's
really limiting the number of.
yeah, this is very much a movie about a stoner.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
it couldn't have been another drug either. It wouldn't
no.
have worked if Smokey was a crackhead or Smokey was a meth head or
I,
whatever else.
I assure you, I laughed louder and more often watching Friday than I did any of the Cheech and Chong movies.
Ah,
And part of that might be because I'm more familiar with Cheech and Chong films, that I'd actually seen them before. But, just this movie had like great quality jokes, dialogue in general, and also like, great performances and physical performances. I just can't say enough about Chris Tucker and John Witherspoon, but
Yeah, the delivery.
everybody else is also like, to a degree it's practically slapstick. It's just very very physical comedy. Good stuff.
very.
Story. This movie has a story. It has a couple of side stories that are well developed. They are woven together quite well. So it is superior to the Cheech and Chong movies in a couple ways for sure. And by that I mean the two Chong movies, Up in Smoke and Nice Dreams.
Yeah, I mean that's high
Um,
praise. That's high praise.
It's
I
much better storytelling, and the dialogue. I would come back to it's a dialogue heavy movie. It is well written dialogue.
yes, it's dialogue dependent.
Yes.
It's yeah. I would rank it above the Cheech and Chong movies just because of my familiarity with it. So it's kind of like unfair. And to me, it was just it epitomized the era in which I like was getting into weed for the first time. Like this was like one of the first movies that I ever saw while high.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to make a list of what those other ones are. I don't know. But
No, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Um,
And
and
that's what
can't
Up in
relate.
Smoke was for me.
right.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
only because those two movies are again they're about weed.
Yes.
And
So
yeah, for me that was definitely Dazed and Confused. You know,
Nice.
like Dazed and Confused that came out like 92,
Yeah.
93. That was right at the time that I was smoking weed for the first time, and like the local double feature $2 theater, which we went to all the time, and it was great. It's kind of like a dive that was a movie theater,
Hmm.
sort of situation. They kept Dazed and Confused as the second film in their double feature for weeks, and that was just great. So wound up seeing it a bunch of times, and
Nice.
so what
yeah,
was it like?
I think what you guys are talking about, like that
Yeah.
movie, kind of saved the.
What was it
Yeah.
like for you to go to Top Notch?
It was cool, like I yeah, uh, it was one of those things I wanted to see right away.
I bet.
Um, you know, and moon towers. Moon towers are cool. Still like moon towers, but yeah,
Do the Moon Towers have like a role in? I've not seen Dazed and Confused in a long, long time, and I had just been wondering what we still have to watch on this show, and I
yeah.
really would
The
not
the
mind revisiting that one.
the climax takes place at a moon tower in a park.
Nice.
Yeah, where they're having an illegal keg party. Yeah.
And the Moonlight Towers in Austin, Texas, are the only known surviving Moonlight Towers in the world. I didn't
Yep.
realize that. I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that they were so uniquely Austin.
Yeah, and we've lost a couple like in the time that I've lived here, because I guess like in some cases you can have them taken down. I think that's crazy, but whatever. Like they want to develop, you know.
It's people
Mhm.
that hate fun, man. People hate fun. They hate beauty. They hate
And what
anything
was
that
the
isn't
original purpose of
money.
them?
Well, the story of the moon towers in Austin is that the original purpose is that one of the earliest serial killers in American history occurred in uh, Austin, and the moon towers were meant to,
Oh yeah.
put more light into the city at night, so there's less stalking and killing.
So this is a serial killer I've never heard of before, but he had
Mhm.
two nicknames.
Mhm.
Let's see if you know the second. The first was Midnight Assassin. Do either of you know the other nickname that he was known as, the more popular one, the one that he has a Wikipedia entry under? It was the Servant Girl Annihilator.
The servant girl annihilated.
Like
Nice.
we're talking about a terrible person, but that is an awesome name. Like I can't
Yeah,
believe I've never heard that before.
definitely making it too cool. It's not necessary to make it that cool.
Right.
That's not. That's why are you doing that?
Yeah. And he still has not been identified.
Nope. You never caught him. I have no idea if the moon towers helped. I have no idea.
If they didn't catch him, then, but yeah, I mean, they might have kept a couple people
They
alive. You know.
they stopped him from killing again.
Uh,
Did they?
I'm going to assume so until I know otherwise.
yeah. Let's
Okay.
just. I'm not even. It's a happy ending. Let's just go with that.
It's a happy
Yeah.
ending.
Yes.
It's that. Well,
Speaking of happy endings.
On this Rex Manning Day,
who is
Sounded-
Rex Manning in that movie? What is the significance?
he is an aging pop star
Uh huh.
who had a big hit called "Say No More, Mon Amour," and he is has a new song coming out, or maybe Say No More Monomore is his new song coming out. And
Mhm.
so he's touring around to record stores
Ah,
to promote it. And he's evidently kind of a thing. And like if back in the day, an aging David Jones
mhm.
had gone on tour, and like your mom thought he was hot, but
Yeah,
16-year-old you kind of thinks he's hot too.
yeah. Maybe he cheers up your sleepy gene.
But he's also a creep.
Well,
He's
But
a weirdo.
no spoilers.
that's how they get in there.
He's well, I suppose like a lot of pop stars. Spoilers. Ah, well, with that, I think we should call it a night.
All right. Well, this was
But
real
before
fun.
we do,
Okay.
what are we gonna do next week?
That's the question. And the only thing in my mind right now is I'm so high, I don't remember the name of the movie that Jethrobot was just talking about. Dazed and Confused. But is there
HUD. No, just kidding.
what did you say? Sorry.
HUD.
Is there
No.
weed in that movie?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, there's Anthrax.
I was like, I don't even know.
There's
that
there's LSD in the Tingler, but no.
Are there any other movies that you guys have been thinking about?
The Friday sequels.
I would, you know what? I would love to do the Friday sequels because, like I said, like as far as I'm concerned, they're movies that leave no impression. So it would be fun to actually watch it and then discuss it while I still have some kind of memory of it.
Without Chris Tucker in Friday 2.
It seems
where
very
is the weed?
confusing how that's going to work. Yeah.
Where is the
And
Well,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure that Craig decides that he likes weed. And that's why I think I'm like conflating a lot of things in my head when I think of
Gotcha.
Friday, and I think part of that is the sequels because he must. Let's just is there weed? Let's just make sure that it's a stoner movie.
Yeah,
Next
that's
Friday.
my only fear is you've
Yeah.
kind of scared
Find
me.
out.
All right. So according to this site called Plugged In, it says drug and alcohol content. Pot smoking is frequent. Craig rolls a joint in the bathroom using High Times magazine to roll it. He
Okay,
smoked
well,
the yeah.
okay.
So
There we go.
So
Craig
now
is
we
smoking.
know that
Yeah.
we know that Craig smokes it.
Right, which I think is why, like in my head, when you guys were saying, like, giving your takeaway,
Because you thought he,
just
yeah,
from this
you thought
movie,
he did.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So yeah,
Well-
Maybe all will be
next
explained.
Friday, all will
But
be
let's
revealed.
do that.
Time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really have a bumpy ride my first time, but I had heard of them, so.
I definitely did. I had a bumpy ride like my first 10 times. I did not like weed the first time that I smoked it, but I liked the guys who I hung out with who liked weed, and I didn't know how to say no. I didn't want to be
It was
the
the
guy
Smokey.
who said no.
It was the Smokey to Craig effect. You
It-
were
Yeah, it might have
Craig.
been where you were.
You were
I
Craig.
was Craig. I totally was. Yeah.
So yeah,
I-
and then in the sequel, there you go. Now
Yeah.
you're in the sequel.
I could
You're in the
not have had
sequel
it
now,
better.
kid.
Finally. You could not have what?
My first time was amazing.
Yeah.
It could not have been any better.
That's awesome.
Start to finish. I literally fell in love with weed on that first night. It was the most wonderful I had ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
From the social part to when I went to bed and the bed was wrapping around my body and encompassing me.
Now I gotta go.
Yeah, it was.
I want to go feel that feeling, but yes, I was a late bloomer, a little Stockholm syndrome, however you want to call it. I don't know, but it took me a little while. I was doing it for sure, just out of I wouldn't even call it peer pressure. I would just call it just acceptance. I don't know. I liked these people. I wanted to be with them, and just being with them meant smoking weed. At some
Mhm.
point, I couldn't tell you when it was. Like it was probably fairly gradual. It went from like I don't really like this to like okay, I can do this to like I don't ever not want to be doing this. So
It probably has a lot to do with comfort level. Like I was in a super safe place. Uh,
I do not know where I was the first time.
yeah, with somebody who cared about me and was
Oh, good.
no. Yeah, I think it might have a lot to do with perhaps where you're at.
And brain chemistry. I mean, I was very a big part of it was me is I just was like super neurotic about being high in front of my parents. And so I would get high and then I would start thinking like, oh my God, I have to go home and see my parents while I feel like
Mhm.
this. And like
Yeah.
that was for a while, I think one of the things I didn't like about it. Like if
No
I
one
could have
likes that.
just been like when it got to the point, I think where I really fell in love with it, and then we gotta wrap this up, was when I moved out on my own and I got my own place, like my own place with friends. But because like I didn't have to go I always had to drive home on it and stuff like before. When it got to the
Mhm.
point where I could just be like, I can just get high and go to bed, like that's when and now I'm actually tapping into some old memories because now I'm remembering that yes, that was a very real thing. Like I remember sort of having that like epiphany, like I can get as high as I want to. I don't have to stop myself. Like I can just get wrecked and just pass out right here. And then it was on. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna get wrecked and pass out.
Sounds like an absolute gem of a plan. All right, fellas.
Go watch some baseball.
Nice. Some what?
Some
Baseball?
baseball. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Red
Till I
Sox
Baseball,
are
fall.
doing all
face
right.
off, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Till I fall asleep on the couch.
Mm. All right. Well, we will see you next time for next Friday on a Tuesday.
Change your bong water,
Peace.
you nasty person.
Sound advice.
We'll see you next time.